wasn't born into royalty. He didn't speak with fire from the mountain. He was forged in silence, raised for strength, destined for chaos. His name was Samson. Before he could lift a stone or swing his fist, he was chosen by God. An angel appeared to a barren woman wrapped in holy light. His voice cut through the stillness like thunder in the desert wind. You will give birth to a son. No razor shall touch his head, for he is set apart to begin delivering Israel from oppression. This would be no ordinary child. He would not wear robes of honor, nor sit among elders. He would be raw strength, unpolished, unpredictable, and untamed. Samson grew, wild, fierce, and filled with potential. His hair flowed long, a visible sign of the vow spoken before his first breath. His hands calloused and powerful, his spirit restless. He wandered the hills, training without instruction, learning the strength of his arms and the fire in his heart. The Spirit of God stirred within him, and the earth held its breath. On the road to Timnah, a lion attacked. No warning, no time to react. But Samson didn't back down. He stepped forward. The Spirit rushed upon him like a wave crashing through bone. With a roar, he met the beast head-on. His hands closed around its jaws, and with a single motion, he tore it in two. The ground drank the silence that followed. Word spread quickly. Some laughed, some whispered, some feared. But Samson walked in silence. He desired one thing, a Philistine woman to be his bride. The elders urged him to reconsider. He dismissed them with a glance. His heart was set. A wedding was arranged. Feasts, wine, music. But beneath the celebration brewed deception. A riddle was posed. A wager accepted. A betrayal set in motion. When his bride was taken from him, the fire inside him ignited. He stormed the fields, captured 300 foxes, tied them tail to tail with torches between them, and sent them sprinting through the vineyards and grain. The night glowed red. Flames danced across fields. The Philistines watched their future burn. They came for blood, but they weren't ready. This wasn't just a man. This was judgment walking. And this was only the beginning. Now the enemy is coming, not with justice, with vengeance. A massive army storms into Judah, shouting one name, Samson. The people panic. They fear the wrath of the Philistines more than the purpose of God. 3,000 men from Judah climb to the rock of Etam and find Samson. They look at the man who was supposed to be their deliverer and ask him to surrender. Why have you done this to us? They plead. Samson stares at them, not in anger, but in sadness. They started this war. I only gave them what they gave me. Their eyes avoid his. They don't want trouble. They want peace, even if it means betraying their strongest warrior. Promise me you won't kill me yourselves, Samson says. They nod and bind him with 2 brand new ropes. Strong, tight, final. They hand him over to the enemy. The Philistines cheer. They mock. They gloat. They prepare to kill him publicly as a warning to all of Israel. But suddenly, the ground shifts. A wind stirs that no one else can feel. The Spirit of the Lord surges through Samson like fire in dry grass. The ropes snap like cobwebs. He looks down, no sword, no armor. Just a donkey's jawbone half buried in the dirt. He grips it tightly, and then he charges. One man, 1,000 enemies. His eyes burn, his breath roars. Each swing lands like thunder. Steel bends, shields shatter, screams fill the air. They came with formation. They leave in chaos. Some try to run, it doesn't matter. Samson is everywhere, unstoppable, untouchable. This isn't rage, it's judgment. By the end, the battlefield is still. Samson drops the jawbone.
He names the place Ramath-Lehi, Jawbone Hill.
But victory has a cost. His knees buckle. His throat is dry, his strength drained. He falls to the ground. Lord, he cries out, you gave me this win. Will you now let me die of thirst? God hears and splits the ground open. Water gushes out, cool and living. Samson drinks deeply, his life returning with every drop. He rises again, not just as a warrior, but as a chosen man. For 20 years, he judges Israel. He's feared by enemies, respected by his people. But storms don't last forever, and even the strongest can fall. Because evil doesn't always wear armor. Sometimes it wears perfume. Sometimes it whispers your name. In Gaza, Samson was surrounded by enemies. But instead of hiding, he grabbed the city gates, iron, wood, and stone, and tore them from the wall. He lifted them onto his shoulders and carried them to the top of a hill. He had unmatched strength, but he lacked wisdom. Then came Delilah, beautiful, mysterious, and dangerous. The Philistines came to her in secret. Find out what makes him strong, they said, and we'll make you rich. She asked Samson again and again, what gives you your strength? First, he said, If I'm tied with 7 fresh cords, I'll become weak. She tied him. The Philistines attacked, but he broke free with ease. Then he said, use brand new ropes. Same result. The ropes snapped like thread. Then he told her, weave my hair into a loom and I'll lose my strength. She did. But again, he broke loose effortlessly. Delilah wept. You don't love me. You've lied to me 3 times. Day after day, she pressed him. Worn down, Samson finally told the truth. A razor has never touched my head. If my hair is cut, I'll lose my strength. I was set apart by God before I was born. That night, he laid his head on her lap and fell asleep. While he slept, she called for a man to shave off his hair, his covenant, his calling. Then she cried out, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. He awoke to fight, but the Lord had left him. His strength was gone. The Philistines seized him. They gouged out his eyes. Samson the mighty was now blind, bound in bronze shackles, grinding grain in a prison like a beast. But even in the darkness, something began to stir. His hair began to grow again. Blinded, shackled, mocked, the mighty Samson, once feared across the land, is now dragged into the temple of Dagon, like a broken trophy. The Philistines laugh. They celebrate. They think it's over. They think they've won, but they don't know. God isn't finished. As the crowd roars and the rulers feast, Samson is led to the center of the temple. 2 massive pillars rise beside him. He leans against them, hands trembling, not from fear, but from what's about to happen. He lowers his head and whispers a prayer, barely audible above the crowd. Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, so that with this final breath, I may do your will. And in that moment, the Spirit of God rushes upon him. One last time, Samson's arms stretch out wide. His muscles tighten. Stone begins to crack beneath his grip. The ground shifts. Dust begins to fall. The crowd begins to panic. And with a roar that echoes through time, he pushes. The pillars break. The ceiling crashes. Screams vanish in thunder and dust. And in his death, Samson brings down more enemies than he ever did in life. This is not a story of failure. It's a story of redemption, of divine purpose, even in the darkest moment, because God's strength was never tied to sight or status. It was always tied to surrender. And his plan was never finished until Samson fulfilled it. This was the final act of God's strongest warrior.